Hey, howdy, and hello, everybody. Welcome back to round 5 of Contenders featuring Timeless and O3 Splash. And I'm casting here alongside the one and only Naku.
Hello. Yeah, very exciting match today. Tombos versus O3 Splash. I'm a big fan of both of these teams. Both have incredible rosters and are doing super well. I think this is a very important match for Timeless. Timeless has had a pretty rough bracket run thus far in this series. They've going up against Strix and Dragon Dance, Wisp, and Saints, all incredible teams, and I think O3 is another one of those amazing teams that is currently 4-0. So, Timeless may be looking to stop that streak, and of course O3 hoping to hold that streak of and make this a 5-0 round for them.
Yeah, no, it's a very important game for both of these teams because of the strong teams we've seen so far. O3, Timeless, and Strix are those strongest teams. So whichever one of these teams comes out on top will most likely end up being the top seed coming into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, O3 Splash doing incredible during the spring series, pulling out just pulling out insane results, and coming into this series with a little bit of a different roster, a little bit different players, and pulling out even better results, going +6 in the map diff. Insane, with a 4-0 streak right now. They have had a lot of map 5s for a team, but they have managed to win all of those. And of course, Timeless coming in, unfortunately, with one loss to Strix, like you said, another pretty good team to look out for. But Timeless's roster, man, I mean, something clear, Kuffa, incredible tanks. Clear maybe coming in on the Rialtos or whatnot, coming on the maps where you're seeing a lot of Sigma, a lot of Diva, and Kuffa on the signature Kuffa Winston, along with playing a lot of that Junker Queen, which is incredibly good. We have Wub, who is known for the bit of the Hanzo gameplay. Doomed and Wub both being able to play Hanzo, both being able to play Tracer, makes them incredibly versatile assets for Timeless.
Yeah, and then along with Scuffed and Sobek, two somewhat newer players for Timeless, but still have been very much so carrying their weight and showing off their stuff with those dominant performances they showed off against many other teams at this point.
Yeah, last week Timeless had a little bit of issues on the roster. I believe Doomed not being able to play on Monday of last week, and somebody else who couldn't play on Tuesday. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but it made it a little bit difficult for Timeless to show their full potential last week, missing a couple players on the main roster, and coming into this week, I think they're looking to show just how strong they are with their full roster ready to go.
Yeah, got the whole gang back together. And then on the other hand, though, of O3 Splash, we see a really strong everything. I mean, all of these players are very achievemented.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, Infected, who is an incredible tank player who has been around Contenders for, a shocking amount of time for how young he is. Boat being, Boat and Lukewarm being an incredibly strong DPS line who, last week on Monday and Tuesday were just absolutely dominating a lot of the teams on the DPS. And Deco and Neutral are nothing to scoff at on the support line, showing up on every match. There's a reason this team is 4-0 right now, and it's because they are just stacked with incredible players.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they also have Cowman and Echo on the bench. Those are two incredible players. And to have them as subs, to have them on the bench,
right?
That really shows how strong this team is.
Yeah, the versatility for O3 Splash, for Cowman and Infected to both be on tank is incredible, but it does seem that Busan is up first. Our first, the control map that these teams have picked is Busan. Could be seeing, probably going to be seeing the Infected Winston, maybe having Cowman, and kind of hard to say. I think Busan is the control map with the biggest difference between the points and kind of the different comps you want to play. So it's kind of hard to say who we're going to see coming in here. But I think we will see Infected, who both Infected and Kuffa having being incredible Wisdom players. I think will be very fun to watch on that side.
I agree, and it does turn out, as you were saying, that Kuffa is in, which is gonna prove a very interesting main tank 1v1. Back in Overwatch 1, main tank, off tank, both of these tank players were primarily main tank players, and so this fits to their hero pool very well. As both teams opting for something very different, with O3 going for that dive we've been seeing quite a bit, but then Timeless opting for the very intriguing Queen Rush.
Yeah, I think Kuffa has always been a very big fan of the Junker Queen, and remains to be a fan. I've said it before. I think Kuffa gets a buff for being Australian on this Junker Queen, but we are going to see Doomed go in for a bit of a dive onto Deco. They're immediately getting taken out by the rest of O3 Splash, and this puts Timeless in a rough position without having that Tracer up.
Yeah, immediately punishing Doom for being slightly out of position, a little too far in the open. Deco at that nice whip shot. Timeless having to play slow, just play their time, let O3 get the cap, and then they can come back all together. The big plan for them is going to have to be, who are they going to engage on?
Yeah, I think it's really hard here because they have so much high ground for O3 here that, Kuffa is going to struggle to find a target here, and we're going to see this high ground be used by O3 Splash to take out Wub and Sobek on the Lucio, and O3 Splash seems to be able to maintain this point as the rest of Timeless fall.
Neutral with an insane early anti, completely shutting out Timeless, because that forces Scuff to use the Suzu as they have to there. But then that leaves Timeless just kind of stuck in the middle of the map on those stairs. And they just got surrounded, especially with Infected from the front, both from the back. That's not something I'd want to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really tough for Timeless to find space here. It's tough for them to go in on a specific target. Playing this Junker Queen, you have to find the target that you can run on as Junker Queen instead of, the target that you can jump on instead. And we're going to see both Tracers here kind of go for a bit of a 1v1, and both Tracers back and forth, very low HP, but in the meantime, Infected's going to take a pick onto Sobek on the Lucio here, and they're going to go down as Kuffa gets the counter trade onto Lukewarm with the knife there. It technically evens out the odds for Timeless, but it's not exactly the pick you want to happen, as ultimates are coming flying out for both teams here. Infected with the nano boost, putting so much pressure onto Timeless, but so is Kuffa. Deco goes down, but the primal rage for Infected is coming out. It's not looking good for a lot of these Timeless players as Wub goes down to Lukewarm, who is back on the playing field. Kuffa looking to get anything, going for a knife and an ultimate to come. It follows. Infected goes down, Neutral goes down, Boat goes down, and it looks like O3 Splash is not going to be able to finish off this point quite yet.
Neutral and Infected did everything they could, and they did so much to continue that fight, to get it to 99%. The nano was huge, and all in all, it came down to Scuffed and his usage of Curie ult and his Suzus that both saved Kuffa and allowed Kuffa to use his ult, which, I mean that was just the cherry on top, and finally, Timeless are in this game.
Yeah, this is, not both teams looking pretty rough on the ult economy here. A lot of ult had to come out to win that fight, and we're going to see Deco immediately come into this fight with the Brig ult, looking to make a lot of space here as Infected goes for a bit of a high ground, but Wub doesn't want Infected to get that high ground, goes up to stop him, but unfortunately, Wub gets shot down by the soldier, and as they are forced to bob onto point, Infected gets shot straight out of the sky by Wub as Lukewarm and Boat look for some counter picks, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of Timeless push them back further into that alleyway and up the stairs.
Deco with that early Brig ult, that is a very important ult, especially with this, but it gets little to no value as they just get forced back. O3 trying to get space here as Lukewarm gets taken down by Wub.
That's a very big pick for Lukewarm, taking out Wub here. That's a lot of damage that Timeless isn't going to have. and it's going to make a difference as Infected dives onto Scuffed, who can't seem to quite get out of that situation and goes down. Timeless is down too, and it seems like the rest of O3 Splash is just going to have to get their way with them as the Lucio, the Jugger Queen, and the Tracer goes down. O3 Splash has his ult to spare as the point goes to 100%, and O3 Splash managed to capture the first point here on Busan.
Both of these teams are completely locked in. You see some of these shots that that Wub and Lukewarm are hitting, the 1v1 that Boat and Doomed are going on, and both of these tank and support lines dueling it out and brawling it out. But we have seen that O3 Splash, the one and only, the Squirters, they are better prepared against Timeless's comps. They're playing more cohesive, they're playing a lot more grouped and a lot more decisive. As Timeless seem to be hesitating a bit, seem to be giving up quite a lot of space early on. And some pretty much matched comps coming out here, actually exactly matched comps that we've seen both of these teams succeed on quite a lot.
I think Kuffa is a really good Ramattra player, and I don't want to downplay Infected's Ramattra, but not entirely something that, Infected's actually, very known for. So I think I like Kuffa's odds here as they get a little bit low and have to back up here and put down that shield. Both of these teams looking for a Maywall is what they're really looking for here. Taking a lot of poke damage at each other, looking for some early damage, trying to get through that Maywall, and Timeless seems to get through it pretty well here. Scuffed gets low, jumps into the air, straight into a Lukewarm shot's gonna go down. O3 Splash looking for more and is going to get what they want as Wub gets taken out by Boat, and Dude is caught in the back line. This is exactly what O3 Splash wants as they get wet and dirty and take Timeless back to spawn.
Yeah, if you're O3 Splash and you make that splash on first fight, actually the exact opposite. Timeless is the one who splashed out. Going first with these kind of compositions forces you to use your cooldowns early on. And here we're going to see the exact opposite as Timeless actually take a lot of space, and Kuffa gets that really important pick on Deco. And Kuffa gets the second onto Infected. And we're seeing Kuffa just run it down.
Kuffa is ready. Kuffa has hands, and he's willing to show them as he takes out two with the Nemesis form there. That was so unfortunate with Infected. I thought Dude was caught out and was going to die there, but that's just not what happened as Kuffa comes in from the back and takes him down. And they're going to be finishing off the rest of O3 Splash on point here as they get that point cap and send O3 back to spawn and get set up for the next fight.
Yeah, the bait and switch. Like you were saying, Doomed looked to be caught out, but then Kuffa and Scuffed and Sobek, I mean,
yeah,
what was all of Timeless really just like saved Doom and was able to continue the fight and use their aggression to the advantage, because that early wall from Doom cut Infected off. Now we're going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie here as the early wall. Oh no!
Such an interesting map ult there as the Maywall. Oh, so Beck gets caught out of the sky by Lukewarm, goes down immediately as Annihilation comes out from Infected, but Infected's getting too low to stay alive and goes down. But O3 Splash isn't done yet as the Beat and the Soldier don't come down. Lukewarm gets two, Lukewarm gets three, goes down to Kuffa, but gets the picks that might be necessary to win out this fight. Boat's not done as the May ult comes out. It looks like Kuffa's gonna get frozen and goes down. And Timeless doesn't have any more players left as O3 Splash come back from spawn and take the point.
O3 Splash did win the fight. You got to give it to them, but they used 5 ults.
Timeless, they fought tooth and nail for that fight win.
They did. This is going to be a very important fight, though. If Timeless can use only maybe 1, maybe 2 ults, as the early ult comes out from Wub. But they're going to look to try and walk. O3 Splash going to be trying to play this as slow as possible as we see them just kiting it out.
O3 seems a little split here as Wub gets a pick onto Deco and Boat goes down just as the same, as it feels like O3 Splash got a little lost there, didn't know exactly how they wanted to position, and so back on the Lucio and the rest of Timeless took beautiful advantage of that as they picked off O3 Splash one by one. I mean, that's a fast fight win. That's exactly what Timeless needs there.
I agree. They only had to use that one ult, like we were saying earlier, and that means that Timeless still had that ult advantage coming into what could be the last fight for Timeless. If they continue to play it slow, play their chokes, and O3 need to not get that split up, as you were saying, as Lukewarm hits another nasty shot onto Doomed.
Doomed goes down, and that's big for O3 as Doomed was coming up on that ultimate, but Kuffa still has an ult of his own as he goes in for the backline. Neutral goes down. Infected gets picked off by the Wubzo as the Timeless are ready to push in hard and fast onto the O3 Splash. Lukewarm goes down, and it's only Boat left alive as the clock ticks down, and we're going to point 3 here on Busan.
This, I'm not gonna lie, I knew it would be close, but it's insanely good. These different styles of play, the different preparedness in terms of compositions that they're comfortable on, two very different styles, and so it really is coming down to who knows how to play against the other comp the best.
Yeah, we saw some, that's exactly the type of comp we expect to see on Mecha Base there. The Ramatra, the Mei, the Hanzo, and, both teams played the same comp. It just seems that Timeless was so much more comfortable playing those heroes, and they're really in Timeless's hero pool there. As we see teams coming up with a bit of a different comp here on the third point, as we see Infected stays on the Ramatra, but Kuffa goes back onto the Drucker Queen, which, again, Kuffa is so comfortable in this Drucker Queen, loves this Drucker Queen pick, even if she's not, in her most powerful state, and we'll see if that works out for Timeless coming into this third point. Boat gets a little low, but won't go down. Same thing with Lukewarm, but Infected cannot say the same, as Wub gets a clean headshot to take Infected out of the fight early, and Timeless is going to get their way with O3 Splash and cap that point.
O3 Splash's comp is a very slow comp. They really want to try and just bunker down on the point, keep the distance between the backline and Infected, maybe try and get a pick or two with Boat going for a hack. It's like the dive comp, except a ram. So now, with Timeless's comp, they're going to do exactly what they just did. They're going to play it slow, they're going to look for their opportunity, they're going to force O3 Splash to make a mistake. As Boat looks to go for an opportunity, it forces Infected to use Nemesis early just to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's bad for Infected. You don't have that Nemesis form to keep you alive during the mid-fight, and that could be bad, as Kuffa still, I think, has a shout ready, but Kuffa getting so low and goes down with a beautiful stick from Lukewarm. That's going to look bad for O3 Splash as a counter stick from Doom comes out, but it won't be able to get the same value, as Infected stays alive on this point. Both teams fighting for dominance here and not quite getting it. We're going to see Scuffed go for that ult, but so will Neutral as the support ults are coming out. Wub trying to stay alive, but Infected's going to be able to take them down, as same with Sobek, as the rest of Timeless struggle to keep control of this point here, but they're still managing to stay alive, and that's just as important as Doom gets a pick on the Deco. Kuffa comes back, but not for long, as they go down to Infected, and so does Doom to Boat. And it seems like Timeless isn't going to be able to hold on to this point for much longer, as it finally gets capped over by O3 Splash at 76%.
And we saw Timeless hesitate a bit while O3 Splash was looking for the engage, and that gave O3 the time to finish building up the nano, and that nano from Neutral onto Infected really enabled Infected to go forward through Scuff's Curie ult. And now we are going to see so many ults on both sides. It's going to be a matter of who can use them. I mean, who can win rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, and we're going to see that that Kuffa is coming up on ult, and O3 Splash doesn't have a Kiriko, and that might be a big effect to them, but they're not going to worry about it right now, as a beautiful anti onto Doomed is going to be able to take him out, as the rest of O3 Splash kind of try to take advantage of that, push Timeless out, and Timeless is going to respect that and back up a little bit. They still have the ultimates. Well, they don't have as many ultimates, as Wub did pull out the ult there on Sojourn and did not quite get the value that may be looking for it. Oh, on the prowl! Boat gets the hack onto Kuffa, not getting a lot of value out of that ult, but EMP will also come out for O3 Splash. Timeless fighting for their lives here as ultimates flying everywhere. Kuffa gets low, Kuffa goes down, Wub stays the same as Wub is dead, and O3 Splash be able to clean off Timeless. Scuff gets an exit pick onto Neutral, but it won't be enough. And O3 Splash, keeps control of this point even through all those ultimates.
Yeah, we're seeing Timeless now decide enough is enough, and they need to change up their composition. The way that they're playing, they're trying to walk into the O3 Splash like their comp is built for, but O3
Yeah.
Splash is doing a wonderful job of just kiting them and leaving the fight and then re-engaging on their own terms. Now, with this new comp, though, Timeless is able to walk a lot more cohesively and not have to worry as much about the hacks from Boat, as Scuff says it's go time and decides to int on to that Kyrie as Kuffa goes deep into the backline and gets Deco.
Neutral and Deco go out to Kuffa and Wub. That means no support line for O3 Splash, and that could be bad as Infected struggles to stay alive on point, getting low, going down. A Pulse Bomb coming out, gonna try to take Kuffa down, but Kuffa miraculously survives through that Pulse Bomb and is willing to go even further. They need to stop O3 Splash from touching this point. They're at 80%, and O3 Splash only needs to win one fight, and Doomed is gonna go for the stick onto Boat, knowing that he doesn't have Translocator. That's gonna take Boat out, and that's gonna be a big difference for O3 Splash here, as they have to wait for Boat to get back and build up that EMP to hopefully make a difference. But Wob, despite I feel like just swapping onto Sombra, does still have that ultimate just as close as Boat does, as Infected forces his way into point, and Deco is going to use that Brig ult to gain some space onto Timeless here, as Timeless is forced to kind of back up a little bit, but Kuffa's not done yet, as Kuffa manages to pull out the Annihilation. The EMP comes out, it's going to be the end for Sobek and Kuffa. The counter EMP from Wub means that Timeless isn't out of this yet, as Deco goes down, but there's nobody there to contest the point. O3 Splash managed to put it over in their control. Doomed barely manages to get the touch in time to keep this fight alive for Timeless, and this is so close for both teams as Wub goes down, and it looks like O3 Splashes takes the advantage in this fight. Doomed can't find a pick, and Kuffa manages to get back on point into ball, trying to contest it, but won't manage to stay alive, so Beck can't touch, and O3 Splash are gonna take Busan.
Oh my lord. This is...
It never ends. It never ends.
This is truly top tier Overwatch gameplay. Like, from any angle you look at it, both of these teams, they're playing chess. This isn't just out mechanicking each other. This isn't like ranked games where you can just W key and hope that you get more value. This is truly O3 Splash and Timeless at the top of their game, making these, I mean, not only smart and methodical, but these cohesive moves, and O3 Splash barely able to take it out. Just, I mean, these small little plays at the beginning of that last fight, we saw Deco use the rally, and that forced Wub to teleport out, which means that Wub couldn't get the EMP in time, and then Boat could get theirs. It's this back and forth, which is, I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah, I mean, what an insane control map from both of these teams. They're not giving each other an inch, and that's map 1. That's just the first map, going from 99 to 99 on the third control point. That's some map 5 action that you expect to see there. And both of these teams off bat are pulling out all of the extra stops to just show each other up, not give each other an inch on that point. I mean, beautiful ult usages from both of these teams, trying to stay alive in each and every one of these fights. They're not giving each other, I've said it multiple times, they're not giving each other an inch. And, like, they're willing to commit ults to fights that you almost think are over. Like, these fights that, like, you're like, oh, this is done, this can't go on for longer. They're willing to commit those ults and make that difference in a fight, even when it seems like, to me, to be over, to be like a lost fight. They're just not giving each other an inch. These are truly top tier contenders teams this season, and they're showing each other just exactly what that means to each of them. And I mean, it's incredible to watch.
And to keep in mind, everybody, this is a first to 3. This is this, and first map. I mean, not only was that the longest control map I think I've seen in a minute, but next up is going to be hybrid, and we've seen both of these teams do really well in hybrid. Specifically, Timeless on Eichenwald. We've seen them bring that out a lot, and we've seen a lot of success for that.
Yeah, but you know, Timeless does have map pick here, losing the first round here, and it seems that they're going to go for a Midtown instead. which is an interesting, a little bit of an interesting pick. See what they want to pull out here. Maybe more of that Ramatra comps that they like to mirror. I think Cuff is pretty confident on that. We saw it on Mecha Base, the map that Timeless did manage to take there on Busan. They went for that mirror comp with the Ramatra with the Mei, and it worked out really well for Timeless. Hopefully, maybe they're looking to do something similar. I think Ramatra is pretty decent on that first point and third point there, but there's also a lot of high ground. I think Midtown is an interesting map here. There's a lot of different high grounds. There's a lot of different options here. For what both of these teams can play as far as that goes. I think we're going to see Wubzo come back. I think Wub Hanzo is exactly what Timeless want to see coming out from this map.
Yeah, we saw Wub put in a lot of work there on the Hanzo. On the Sojourn, not so much. We saw Lukewarm kind of dominate on that Sojourn. And something I'm interested about, Naku, is I think Midtown is going to be very similar to that of Busan Downtown and Sanctuary, where you can have so many different varieties of comps. It's just going to come down to how they play against the opposing team's comps. I think Timeless might try that Queen comp again, but I think you're right. I think they need to go for that Ramatra Brawl comp because they struggled on that Queen comp against O3 Splash's Ram comp.
Yeah, I think O3 Splash is just so coordinated, and you're kind of on that Queen comp, kind of like waiting for an opportunity to use that shout to dive. Whereas, on the opposing time, you're waiting for them to use that shout so you can dive onto them or you can put the pressure onto them. Because once Queen doesn't have shout anymore, she's kind of, not a target. She's kind of an easy target to take down. And exactly like we said, we're going to see Kuffa pull out the Ramatra here on Midtown. Kuffa seems confident and capable on this Ramatra. We're going to see Wub on the Hanzo. Again, Wub, signature hero, this Hanzo. An incredible Hanzo player. Same with Doomed on the Tracer. We're seeing a little bit of a different kind of matchup. We're seeing Doomed versus Lukewarm on this Tracer mirror. Never mind, Lukewarm is going to make a quick swap onto the Sojourn. Seems like he's really comfortable on Sojourn here, as we see Boat take some pop shots on the Widowmaker, see if they can get anything early fight, but they are going to immediately go to the Echo, who has been a favorite for the Flex DPS players recently here, as Infected goes for a dive instantly onto the back line and immediately gets taken out.
Yeah, Infected needs to learn. Infected's got put in their place. Infected's gonna have to learn that against this comp of Timeless, jumping in like that is not gonna cut it. Although, Bro got rolled.
Bro got put in timeout corner instantly. Oh my god. Infected goes down immediately on that Winston.
Now we're gonna see Infected kind of go to the side here, just try and force out Doomed, as Doomed is on that flank side. Timeless going to be playing a bit split. O3 Splash looking for an opportunity. That nade is big and forcing O3 Splash not to come in yet and getting Lukewarm very low. But we're going to see Timeless literally just sit and wait until O3 jumps, and they're going for it.
Yeah, Doomed getting a little bit caught out by this Echo here, forced back into that room, but is on the hunt. Does not want to give Boat this any unnecessary space. Doomed already with the Pulse Bomb onto Lukewarm to take him out instantly before this fight even starts. O3 Splash isn't quite done yet, as Boat on the Echo tries to find something, but Deco is getting low, and so is Neutral, who gets caught out by Kuffa. And they're all sitting on this high ground, waiting for another dive here, but Doomed has sniffed them out and is, willing to take a bit of aggressive peeks here. O3's in a rough position here, as they're kind of caught up here all by their lonesome. They need to make a decision now. It seems that Infected is going to jump out of the window and go for a dive onto the back line. Wub getting so low, but an anti coming out onto Infected is going to get Infected so low that he has to use the Primal Rage, but he gets immediately slept out of it, and it's not going to seem to get a whole lot of value as he goes for a dive onto so back on the break, but it won't matter as Timeless managed to get the picks that they need to win that fight. Infected's going to go down last as Kuffa pulls out the Annihilation to put O3 Splash in their place.
We just saw Timeless simply outplay O3 Splash. They knew that they were stuck in that upper room. They slowly pushed. O3 Splash was forced to use ults. Timeless backed up. and then Infected tried to stay alive, both getting the Nano and the Primal. Barely stayed alive as Timeless just walked on the backline, and now we're going to see O3 actually make a switch onto both Boat on the Tracer and Infected onto the Ramatra. An early ult from both of the DPS of Timeless as Wub falls to Lukewarm.
Lukewarm gets 2-picked onto Wubbed and Scuff. This could be big, but Doomed manages to get the counter trade onto Lukewarm going down, but Doomed is soon to follow by Deco on the Mercy getting a pick to res their Lukewarm right back up as Sobek goes down. Kuffa seems to be the only one alive. Back in the same room that O3 Splash was stuck in just moments ago. Now Kuffa's forced back there and doesn't get picked quite yet. They seem to want to keep him up there at low HP and see what happens as Doomed touches this point.
A little interesting that they don't go for the kill on Kuffa then when they can, because now O3 Splash is being forced to back up as Kuffa gets the Nano boost. Neutral's 1 HP, and the blunder from O3 Splash.
I mean, I know you talked about it being a chess match before, but I've never seen a blunder quite that big. Keeping Kuffa alive in that point, letting Timeless come back and use their ultimates. I mean, what happened? What happened? Boat tries to touch but can't, and Timeless is gonna full hold O3 Splash on Midtown.
I mean, that was brilliantly done from Timeless, but at the same time, that is not what you want to see if you're O3. That was such a blunder to let Kuffa live. Although, yes, Kuffa has the Nemesis form, Kuffa's got no supports. Kuffa was half HP, just chilling up there, having a drink, I don't know what Australians do, maybe like some Vegemite or something. I don't know. But it was just pure domination. And having some technical issues, sorry about that.
And a production. Yeah, I mean, such an interesting play from O3 to keep Kuffa alive up there. I assume keep him low, keep him alive, so when they try to recontest, they can easily kill him. And so he's kind of just stuck up there to stagger, but it just didn't work. And they just let Timeless come back, keep Kuffa up, and then nano him in the Nemesis form to just take out the rest of O3 Splash.
And now, hopefully on this attack, big hopefully for O3 Splash, they'll be able to essentially recreate Timeless's defense as well, as we're going to see Timeless opt for a very similar comp to that of O3 Splash on their attack. Very, very flipped, literally, both in sides. But the interesting thing is going to be Wub on the Wubzo.
Well, yeah, Wubzo's coming out, Doomed Tracer's coming out, Kuffa Winston's coming out. I mean, these are pretty iconic heroes for all of these players here, and they're going to try to make them work what O3 Splash could not do, as they take very similar positions. Boat getting a little bit caught out here as the Boat versus Doomed 1v1 takes place, and Boat's going to manage to get the best of Doomed there, as Kuffa has to back up now and is forced to jump out of that situation after, you know, the hero that's going to die with you goes down early.
Timeless needs to try and isolate a target by wrapping around the map, by trying to cut someone off. Whoa, with a nasty shot onto neutral, but the trade comes in from Lukewarm. We've seen that from Lukewarm time and time again, saving O3. This is so much a back and forth fight. Doomed taking the 1v1. It's been the majority of the map.
Yeah, Doomed and Boat kind of locked in this eternal 1v1 as the rest of O3 and Timeless fight it out here. Lukewarm and Wubbed having beautiful counter picks onto each other, but Deco goes low and Doomed manages to get out of the Tracer 1v1 to finish him off as the rest of Timeless force Infected back, and the rest of this team again. Boat takes out Doomed, and Boat gets counterpicked by Sobek. The Nano Boost comes out onto Kuffa as Infected goes down, and Timeless, first Kuffa keeps pushing all of O3 back as Kuffa gets a little bit low. O3 is looking to get this recontest going, but they are struggling as they barely manage to touch the point. It won't be enough as Kuffa has that Primal Rage, takes out Deco, goes for the Primal Rage onto neutral, takes out neutral. Lukewarm goes down. O3 Splash can't touch, and Timeless takes Midtown.
Absolutely wild plays from Scuffed and Kuffa. I mean, and all of Timeless alike, but specifically them. the unspoken hero scuffed with those nades on that fight. Those anti-nades were crucial to killing Deco and Infected. And then Kuffa getting every inch possible, 200 ping or not. His juggling and his primals are absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, Kuffa just a maniac on the tank this match. I mean, the same with the rest of Timeless. It just felt like O3 just couldn't keep up this match, and that's so surprising considering how close Busan was. You know, Timeless picked this map, and it seems that they were really confident in it. Even picking nearly identical team comps that O3 did on the attack, and just making it work so much better. They forced O3 into their game and won. Which is just so impressive from Timeless. You know, beautiful dives coming out from all of them, beautiful antis. You know, even, you know, Doomed may be struggling a little bit against that Tracer 1v1, but it just did not seem to matter. You know, when you're locked in this Tracer 1v1s, it's more about being locked in them than anything. You know, marking that Tracer, making sure that they can't have any space on your backline and you can't have any space on their backline, and letting the rest of your team kind of duke it out and leave it up to them to make the difference. That's exactly what, you know, both of those Tracers were going for. Both managed to maybe get the best of Doomed a couple times, but it just did not matter as the rest of Timeless performed just like beautiful dives and beautiful plays onto O3 on that attack to keep them, to take them down.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Timeless roll up their sleeves and go, "I'll show you. I'll show you how it's done. We'll show you. We'll show you what's up." And I mean, they did it. I mean, they showed us why they picked Midtown. They were confident on it. We kind of theorized that they might try the Queen, but I think after that, after Busan, they kind of decided maybe no Queen. Maybe O3 Splash knows how to play against that too well. So
Yeah.
let's stick to the other comps that we know just as well.
Yeah, I think Kuffa is so unique in forcing that Queen a lot that a lot of teams have gotten very used to it and start playing around it a lot better. You know, when you're going up against Timeless, there's a part of you that really expects Kuffa to pull out that Joker Queen, and it's something that they're probably preparing for before these matches start. They're, you know, getting ready for it in scrims and stuff like that. So it's a bit, I think it's becoming more and more of a struggle for Kuffa to pull out that Joker Queen, even though he's incredibly talented on it. It's just not working out as well. And so he has to, you know, default on, you know, that Winston, who Kuffa is an incredible Winston player, and coming out with the Ramatra as well, which we've seen, Kuffa almost dominate Infected on the Ramatra on a couple of occasions now. I think the most impressive is the Winston mirrors that we're seeing.
Yeah, and speaking of Winston mirrors, I think we're going to see a lot of that on our next map, Dorado. I think this is going to be a map where we're going to see almost a mirror comp, most likely of that Ana Brig Winston, and we're going to see those differences in Wub and Lukewarm, whether it's the Hanzo and the Sojourn, kind of those little differences in compositions and play styles, and we're going to see who can come out on top. Dorado, a very unique map, I would say, in terms of the differences in each point. So maybe maybe third point, if the conditions are right, maybe we will see a Queen comp. Otherwise, I think we're gonna see Timeless come out on top because it is more so those monkey duels, maybe a bit of ram duels. I think Timeless will have the edge.
Yeah, I think Dorado, you know, O3 Splash is pick here is they want that Winston mirror again. I think, you know, Infected is so good at Winston, is so impressive at those struggles, and I think Infected wants to, you know, really prove that here with this pick on Dorado. You know, a lot of that second and first point high grounds is where we're going to see a lot of that Winston come out on Dorado here. But, you know, along with a lot of other things, I think both of the DPS on both of these teams are also very comfortable with this pick. I think Hanzo and Sojourn are also very good on this pick. I think while this is O3's pick, it also might be, you know, just as good for Timeless, because I think, you know, they're allowed to play a lot of the heroes that they're also comfortable on for this map.
Exactly, and that you had a really good point saying it's O3 Slash's pick, so they know what they want on this map. So that being said, although Timeless might be more comfortable on some of these compositions, O3 Splash picked it for a reason. They
Yeah,
have the idea of how they want to play. They have the assumption of what Timeless is going to do, and they think they know how to react to it.
And we're going to see Boat pull out the Echo here, which is something that we saw Boat try to do on Midtown. It didn't quite work out, but I think it's absolutely the right pick on attack for Dorado here. I think you have a lot of room to work with on the Echo. You have a lot of roofs to work around, a lot of spaces to, do that poke damage without having a lot of danger to yourself. Struggling, you're facing up against Wub on the Ash here, who's definitely looking out for you and looking to take you out of the sky. But I think Dorado is a perfect map for Echo to be picked, and it seems like Timeless maybe not as proficient on that Echo here, and not really picking it.
I agree. We're gonna be seeing almost identical comps, except a Wash, if you will, a Wub Ash coming out.
Oh, okay.
First time this around. Assuming to counter that expected Boat Echo that we've seen quite a bit. We're just kind of seeing the eternal slow plays here. Just kind of waiting for the opportunity as Infected seizes it.
Yeah, Infected managing to take that high ground there the second time. Another thing with the Echo, especially with that break, is that it's hard to jump onto that high ground when you have the coach gun and that whip shot to worry about. Oh, what a beautiful headshots from Wub on the Ash here coming out. As they take a whole lot of poke damage, and Doomed and Kuffa go onto the back line to get the picks and force the rest of O3 Splash into their spawn as Neutral goes down. Infected's too low to stay alive without any supports, and Kuffa and Doomed make a ruckus in O3 Splash's back.
I mean, they took every single advantage the Scuffed gave them with that sleep and with the antis, and we are going to see Neutral with the Nano before Scuffed. I think that's going to be key, Naku, because I think that's going to allow O3 to truly go first and to really punish that backline that's on the high ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, a beautiful stick from Doomed onto Neutral. It's going to take support out for O3 instantly and force them back into the spawn as Doomed looks for even more damage onto Boat there. And as Timeless gets ready to set back up, what a fast and amazing pick coming out from Timeless.
I mean, I just ate my words there. Timeless knew what they wanted. They knew what O3 wanted, and they're like, "Now we'll do it first." But Lukewarm now on the Tracer responds to Doomed, as this is a huge push from O3. Bo taking down Wub. The Bob comes out to try to get value, as the Nano comes out onto the Echo as well, which takes down the ulting Sobek.
Oh my god!
And the anti punishes Boat.
Unfortunately, O3 Splash is going to have better respawns here, so Timeless is going to have to back up. But back and forth. What an insane fight from both of these teams here. As both, a lot of ults come out, a lot of picks happened. And now Timeless is kind of on the back as a beautiful anti onto Infected is going to force Infected to Primal Rage here, looking for something. But so is Kuffa going onto the back line, kind of getting bullied a little bit here by the rest of O3 Splash, as Infected is just ready to take on Timeless' backline, going straight from harassing Kuffa to just pouncing on Scuff, as O3 Splash managed to take down Timeless and capture this first point.
This is the definition of a snowball. O3 knew their opportunity, and they knew they had to continue it because of their lack of ult advantage. So that at the first inkling of Timeless looking to go for an engage, Infected went deep into the back line of Timeless with the ult, tossed him around a bit, gave him the 1-2, fed a little bit this fight already.
Yeah, but Doomed goes down just the same.
Yeah, and because of those trades, it's going to allow both teams to stabilize. But O3, if they can keep pushing that advantage, I mean, they're gonna keep the snowball up.
Yeah, once again, O3 Splash has really good spawns here, but it seems that so does Doom. Disinfected is already back. It will not matter for Deco, though, as Timeless look to push onto that back line. It's going to work out for them, but not for Kuffa, as he barely misses that health pack and goes down by Boat. I agree, Kuffa. It is a bit of a ping difference. Doom takes out Infected. That means there's no tanks for either of these teams here, and we'll just have to see how they work around this as Lukewarm tries to push the cart just a little bit more. Boat going for a dive onto Scuffed, but it's not going to work out as Kuffa gets back just in time to take out Boat from the skies, and Kuffa is willing to keep pushing onto that backline, but so is Infected. Kuffa making sure that Infected isn't getting too much value in that back, is Alpha still pushing onto this O3 backline, not quite being able to find the picks as Lukewarm kills 2. Neutral goes down, but will it be enough for Timeless without your Duffa? As a bit of a Primal Rage from Infected is going to be able to take out Wob. And the Primal Rage continues onto Sobek as Infected kills 2.
That was just kind of sad from Timeless, but very well played from O3. I mean, sad in the sense that O3 read them like a book. O3 knew exactly what Timeless wanted to do, how hard they were pushing onto the backline, onto Neutral and Deco. The bubble from Infected blocking the antis. I mean, we're just seeing, I mean, we've said it time and time again, this chess match is finally things stable out a bit here.
Yeah, they're looking for picks. We're going to see a Pulse Bomb come out from Doomed. It won't connect, but Neutral still goes down. Now Timeless has the advantage here as they're going to push onto Deco. Doomed getting low, and so is Kuffa. That's going to matter as Boat manages to get the counter pick onto Doomed, meaning Timeless is going to have a little bit trouble focusing on that backline as Kuffa and Infected are just going to sit here and zap at each other for a little bit. Kuffa does have an ult to work with here, but you don't need it because you're just stopping O3 Splash from pushing this cart any further as Infected jumps back up onto the high ground and Kuffa forces him back off.
Timeless with a high ground advantage. Not quite with the ult advantage. Boat looking on the flank, getting cut down by Wub. I think it's going to be up to Timeless here to make sure that backline of O3 doesn't get any value as O3 Splash goes in the backline when Boat copies Wub. Scuff falls low.
Infected also getting very low, but Scuff is going to be the one that... I don't know what happened there, but Scuff goes down. Lukewarm goes for a Pulse Bomb. Is not going to be able to connect with it. Kuffa is in the backline with the Primal Rage, but is going to have to back out of that and force back to point to make sure that Infected and the rest of O3 can't push much further along as Boat onto the Echo forces Sobek down into the ground. As O3 Splash push this cart ever further. Timeless looking for just any room to stop them here as Kuffa goes for a dive on the backline and gets slept out of it. The Nano isn't going to be able to get any value. They're so close to capping as Doomed goes down trying to recontest. Timeless is just forced to sit on this point, but a beautiful anti is going to be an Infected goes down. Boat looking for the pick onto Womp, but won't be able to quite get it as Womp gets another pick onto Lukewarm. So back coming out with the Brig ult is going to force a lot of O3 Splash into the grave as Neutral goes down. Finally, somebody takes Wub out, but it won't be enough as O3 Splash cannot quite manage to capture that second point.
That was an amazing comeback from Timeless. I did not see them being able to come back. They came back 2 or 3 players is touching the point, then Nano from Scuffed onto Kuffa, keeping them alive, but then he got slept in the backline by Neutral. And we saw Lukewarm with the, we'll blame it on ping, just like Kuffa blamed it earlier on ping as well. Yeah, we'll blame it on ping as well. But an insane play from Timeless being able to come back, and a bit of a pause from O3 Splash. But in the meantime, I want to touch on these differences. O3 Splash running the Echo. They've been nanoing the Echo and not Infected, whereas Timeless have been nanoing Kuffa every time. So these like little differences, because when we see Boat get nanoed, I mean he's going deep. There's no like
there's no other way to put it, really.
There really isn't.
You're also seeing Kuffa kind of jump into that backline there with the Nano, but I think it's a lot easier to sleep Kuffa out of it and just wait that Nano out. Of course, both of these Winstons are going to have that Primal Rage to get back up into the match and keep fighting. I mean, like you said, it's such a close match between these two teams. Fight after fight, you can't really tell what's going to happen. Another beautiful anti from Neutral came, right? Another beautiful anti from Scuff came out onto Infected, which took Infected out and brought Timeless back into that fight after I felt like it was so close to them just being put immediately out. But they had that close spawn. They were able to get back, and Wub on the high ground was able to put in so much work on that Ashe, getting the picks that were necessary. Boat went for that dive onto Wub to get him off high ground, but Wub with just a beautiful guard up, being able to knock that Echo out of the way and keep into that fight for just a little bit longer as the recontest comes out, and it just going back and forth between like these Winstons who are diving on the back line. It's just crazy.
It really is every single fight. It's back and forth. And you mentioned Scuffed and his antes. It seems like every single time things are getting tight and timeless. There's a Scuffed ante from downtown. Brother throws it in like Tom Brady.
Right.
And you see like it might only just be one person, but just any ante when there's not a Kiriko on the field
Yeah.
is huge, and it's fight winning, really.
It's very disruptive. Seems that O3 Splash is ready to bring us back in here after this pause. Looks like. Waiting on Timeless. Understood.
Yeah. Sobek is dead, unfortunately.
Oh my
we
god.
don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened, but we can't find Sobek as we are waiting on Timeless now after O3 Splash called the pause. So we'll see what's happening there in a little bit, I assume. As far as this match goes, I mean, it's insane. I feel like I'm being talked to in the bottom by the prod. I feel like prod is typing to me. I feel has changed the graphics around.
No, Prod, how are you today? Are you doing all right?
Hi, Prod. Hi, Prod. I hope you're having a time. It's fantastic.
That's great to hear.
I didn't know we had all these presets ready. This is
they're just on the fly. This is how high quality we are.
They do exactly. Waiting on some back still. Yeah, seems to be having some ping issues. So back is back. It looks like we are ready to get back into the match here versus Timeless in 03 on Dorado, as some ping issues from back seem to be fixed. After all, well, I'm not really sure what the pause was for on 03's side, but we are back into this match coming in here on Dorado. Both teams playing very similar comps.
Yeah, Timeless. I mean, I wouldn't mind the Wub Rat. We're just gonna go all sorts of Wub variants, but Dorado as a whole. I mean, we both thought it would be close. We both kind of had our theories, but I mean, this is just very back and forth. Like it's difficult to explain.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are playing heroes that they're so comfortable on it. It seems that Timeless just time and time again barely managed to get that advantage. But the map's not over yet. O3 Splash has plenty of room to work with here to stop Timeless from capping and catching up to them. And that's exactly what they're going to be looking to do here. I think this could still be a very close series, even if not going to third point, as we see dives and counter dives come out from these Winstons, trying to force each other off high ground. And neither team quite getting the advantage yet.
O3 Splash already messing up, letting Timeless out of spawn, giving them that space. that might sound like odd, but you know, that's honestly how it is. Just like Timeless spawn camped O3 and didn't let them get out of spawn. They didn't let them have that space. O3 Splash struggling to do the same. Kuffa trying to make that jump onto the high ground, missing a bit, but that ante is pretty huge onto Lukewarm, forces that backline to walk out of it as Infected falls really low, forces back to jump on that high ground. Wub tries to punish it and falls low. I mean, they're just getting chased back now as O3 Splash.
Both of these teams just fighting so hard to take out anybody here, but nobody seems to be able to die. As Kaffa goes up for that high ground, almost gets booped off again, but barely manages to stay on, looking for a different target and can't quite find one. The Nano Boost is going to come out, but Sobek is going to go down to the Pulse Bomb, and so is Lukewarm, as both of the teams just seem so back and forth. A Sleep Dart comes out onto Kaffa, as Infected is just having free reign on the Timeless backline. Scuffed, Wubbed, and Doomed all go down as Kaffa is forced alone with the O3 Splash back to face off against, and Kaffa's gonna go down, and O3 Splash is gonna manage to take that fight.
Yep. Unfortunately, with the state of Overwatch, if there's a Brig, nothing is gonna die, and Kuffa just learned that the hard way, infinitely zapping away and just nothing moving. No one dropping any health except for Kuffa, that is. But the stabilization from Timeless finally comes around as well. It's a nasty shot on the Deco.
Wubzo
Now
comes
Doomed in
out
the
once
backline.
again as Deco goes down. Infected and Boat have something to say about it as the rest of Timeless can't quite stay alive after off the back of that pick. Once again, we're going to see Kuffa pull out the Primal Rage as Doomed isn't done. Lukewarm goes down. Kuffa's looking for more, and he's going to get what he wants as Neutral is forced to face the back of Kuffa's hand. As Neutral goes down, Boat once again wins that Tracer 1v1, but will it be enough? Timeless have the spawns here, and it's going to show when Infected dies to Scuffed. Another beautiful anti, I believe, is going to come out, and Infected's going to go down. The rest of O3 Splash is forced to back up. They're looking for something, but they can't quite get it as O3 Splash are forced back into their spawns, and Timeless capture the first point.
That was the definition of a lost fight. And Kuffa says, nah, I'm good. And he primal. He goes, nuh-uh, and then they win the fight. Thus, Timeless capping with 3.5 minutes. It's honestly quite a lot of time just for Dorado second.
Yeah,
and then Timeless still trying to take that high ground, slowly pressure them out of it.
Yeah, Timeless wants this high ground, and they need it. And Kuffa or Wub is looking to get a headshot onto the back line here as the Hanzo ult comes out. They're looking to, both teams kind of just looking to take control here and struggling a little bit on both sides.
Very slow, methodical chess play.
Absolutely.
Back.
Once again, the chess play is back, and both teams are just waiting on what the enemy team's going to do. Infected goes for the back line. It can't quite get anything quite yet, it looks like, as the anti forces Infected to back up, but Kuffa still hasn't had the chance to do much either. Timeless is pushing this cart, though, which is super important for them. We're going to see a Nano come out onto Infected as he goes for the back line. It will be enough to take out Scuffed and Wub here as Infected kills 2 in the back line, getting really low but not quite going down as Doomed falls to Boat once again. And so does Sobek and Kuffa to Lukewarm, and Timeless forced back to their spawn with 2 minutes on the clock.
And Timeless backing up into that mini room on the side was a good idea, but they definitely overstayed their welcome. And then the nanoed Infected just came in through the back. And I mean, it just kind of rip and teared. And that was all they needed just to finish out the fight. Timeless, with already now almost 1.5 minutes left, they need to pressure Cart, but they also need to get something done.
Yeah, I think a fight win is exactly what they need here to manage to finish this map off, as we're going to see a Pulse Bomb come out onto the back line. It won't quite get anything on Doom's side, but it will for Boat as Wub goes down, and O3 Splash are looking to take this aggressive, but Doom has something to say about it. Finds the pick onto Lukewarm. That means Wub and Lukewarm are both out of this, and the Nano comes out onto Kuffa, but he won't be able to hold on that high ground for much longer as he jumps off of it and gets booped by the whip shot off of it. The Nano not being able to get a whole lot done as Kuffa and Infected are just both looking for something to do on that back line, and Infected's gonna go down as Kuffa has the Primal Rage to work with, just bullying Neutral in this corner, but not quite being able to get the pick as the Sleep Dart comes down. Kuffa gets to go, looks for the health back, barely gets it, but he's still low. He's still one shot as the rest of Timeless managed to take out Lukewarm and his bomb. These DPS line isn't done quite yet. Infected down back and spawned once again, not quite being able to get the value that he wants from it as the rest of O3 Splash is just trying to stay on this point, but Wub has something to say about it. Boat goes down and Timeless win the map!
Oh my god. This I'm gonna have an aneurysm, Nako. This is this is so close. There are so many small deciding moments where it could go either way. Like you saw Kuffa fall to 20 HP, dropping into the Mega, messes up his movement just a little bit, gets stuck on the stairs, but the bubble from Kuffa is what saved him. And because of that, he got the Mega, and then both of the supports, of course, can't chase Kuffa, so they have to go back onto the high ground, and then Kuffa lives, and then Doom kills, I think, 3 or 4, including a Pulse Bomb kill. Like, it is...
I can't pay attention to what is going on at all times. I mean, it's so insane. Kuffa almost get ping diffed once again, trying to go for that health pack, but barely manages to get it. Only at 200 HP, barely manages to stay alive, as the rest of Timeless manage to get the picks that they need. Infected barely getting back to point just to get pulse bombed. I mean, that's so unfortunate from Infected's perspective. Not being able to use that, spawn point to its full advantage, not having that close spawn, and immediately getting taken out there is so bad for them. And it seems like Timeless is willing to just pull out all the stops to win every single fight. I mean, like, even sometimes when we saw Doomed pull out the insane, or Doomed and Kuffa pull out the insane 2v4, 2v5 clutch to capture that first point. And then we kind of saw like this thing where Doomed misses his pulse bomb and Rob goes down, but Doomed still pushes into that backline to take out Lukewarm.
Yeah, even though the small mistakes are made from either one of these teams, they're still good at pursuing their overall goal. Whether it's diving a particular target, forcing out a cooldown, you see Kuffa and Doomed, unless Doomed is of course dueling another Tracer, you see them on that same target all the time. And I think coming up into our next map type, Push, I think
Yeah.
it'll be very give and take, especially this first fight on who can get that first pick. I mean, as it always is. I'm just,
Mhm.
but like if it on who it can get the pick onto what
Yeah.
character. Let's say a Tracer is the first to die. That's not as high a value as maybe an Ana. If an Ana dies, most likely that's fight over. But
Yeah.
we're seeing these insanely high risks come out from both of these teams. And for Timeless, I mean, they have better timing.
Yeah, and we're gonna see maybe a little bit more of that on this push map. New Queen Street coming up next. This is another one of O3, the O3 Splashes pick, and we'll see exactly what they're planning to do here. As I believe we're gonna see Cowman come in for Infected here on O3 side, which could be interesting. Swapping it up a bit. Probably not gonna see that that Winston mirror with Cowman coming in. Maybe Cowman's more comfortable on that Ramatra, and that's what they're planning to see come out from Kuffa's side. But on New Queen Street, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of that Kuffa Junker Queen come out. It's something that I know Kuffa likes to play on this map specifically, on push maps a lot more specifically. So maybe they're planning on countering that with something that Cowman pulls out. I think both Infected and Cowman are such incredible tank players that they're so interchangeable for a lot of these situations, and they can both, show up just the same, just as similar on a lot of similar heroes like that Ramatra.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you had a really good point there with the Queen coming out on New Queen Street. I think Junker Queen is going to be what both sides play. And I also think with
Mm.
Cowman coming in, I don't think it's too hot of a take, but I think these two tank players are the best Junker Queen players in the world. And I think that this is going to be the epitome of it because I think for the most part, they're going to be matching these compositions. So having
Yeah,
this Queen comp versus this Queen comp, it'll be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're probably right on the Joker Queen side going there. Best Joker Queens in the world, I think, is a bit of an interesting, but in contenders almost certainly, as we see both of these Joker Queen players coming out on New Queen Street. This could be such an interesting map to watch, and this is very important for both of these teams. Timeless looking to put away the series right now with a clean 3-1 against O3 Splash. O3 Splash looking to get back into the series, winning this map out for them. And if O3 Splash could win this New Queen Street map, I think that puts them in a very good position on that map 5, and I think that's exactly what they want. They won control point first time, they're looking to do it again, but we're seeing Kuffa come out on the Junker Queen and Cowman coming out on the Ramatra, something that me personally thought was more likely to happen. Cowman on that Ramatra and Kuffa on that Junker Queen. So we'll see what happens coming out here on.
Yeah, you were right. And I agree with you that Infected and Cowman are interchangeable. It's more so just based on playstyle. And as they roll out here, a little fun fact for you is that every single time O3 Splash has gotten the chance to pick a push map, they have picked new queens and they have won it.
I I've watched every O3 Splash game. I didn't notice that. I'm gonna be honest. So that's super interesting. So that's very, yeah. I think this is exactly the position that O3 Splash is used to being in, and exactly the position that they want to be in. And Timeless probably knows that at this point. They've done their due diligence, and they know that, and they're ready for it. As Wob onto the Soldier, and this time manages to get the first pick onto neutral, which is such a big pick. Like you said, that's the support player. You can't do a lot, especially without those Kiriko heals. If you're Cowman, you can't just hold right click to stay alive in those fights. So they're gonna have to back up and wait for neutral to come back.
Yeah, giving up that first fight and giving up that space means that Doomed, like you see now, is able to play this off angle, is able to force eyes onto him, maybe even force some cooldowns, as that leaves Boat being forced to move around to force Doomed out. Boat's just playing it slow, but now Scuffed gets taken down from Lukewarm.
Wow, back and forth here for both of these teams. Scuffed gets taken down, and Timeless is going to have to do the exact same thing that O3 Splash did, but they're not quite willing to give it up that easy yet. As Kuffa goes for a pick onto Lukewarm to counter that pick, it could give them the chance to make something of this, but it might, as Deco and Cowman go down for the trade with Kuffa. This is exactly the position that Timeless wants to put themselves in. Boat barely manages to get that health pack. Another ping diff on the side of Timeless means that Wob is going to go down, but Timeless isn't out of this now yet, as Boat has managed to get picked off, and Timeless pushes the push bot even further.
I mean, we saw exactly how Timeless's comp works, and we're seeing target prioritization as well. How the Kiriko is the most important heroes on both of these teams, and they're both getting picked mostly first, but we're seeing that Timeless and their comp with the Queen can live longer, so they can stay in these fights even when Scuffed died there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was so impressive. I mean, once again, we see, Wob goes down from Lukewarm early here, but once again, we see Timeless not willing to give up fights that as easily as O3 might be, as Wob goes down, and they're still willing to commit ults. Somebody seems to be caught out by Infected there. Infected gets low, but as Sobek goes down, Deco's going to be able to pull out that Lucio beat that's going to be able to put Timeless in a rough position as Kuffa and Scuffed go down. Same with Doomed, and O3 Splash finally managed to win a fight and maybe put some distance on this push bot here.
Very important win for O3 Splash. Of course, every win is an important win.
Yeah.
But this one in particular, they now have the advantage of the tempo. They can use these ultimates when they want to. They can respond how they want to Timeless's positioning and their ults. You see them now taking a very passive look, just kind of setting up on this high ground as well with the flank and a nice shot onto Lukewarm. But Cowman returns the favor onto Scuffed.
Scuffed is a big pick for Cowman to get there on this Ramatra as Wob goes down to pretty low HP, only manages to get Lukewarm out with that ultimate. Maybe not the best ultimate usage you could get out of, as we see Beat come out to keep Kuffa barely alive, but not alive enough, as Cowman is using that Annihilate to push Timeless all the way back, and it looks like O3 Splash might finally get the chance to bet the advantage on New Queen Street. A couple Stranglers left onto Timeless, trying to stop their push for a little bit longer, but it's not going to be enough.
Now we see why the O3 Splash opts for this a bit different comp than we've seen so far, is that they take the aggression first. They want to take every space they can get, every inch, if you will. And Cowman, very good at timing that ultimate in particular, and being able to just walk on Timeless and not let them go anywhere. As Timeless going into this mega room, this top little bridge, a Scuff drops with the Kyrie ult.
Yeah, we're going to see a Kyrie ult come out from Scuffed, which is going to be able to make Boat pay as Boat goes down and Lukewarm goes for the ult, but it's not going to be able to get any value, unlike Wob there, as Kuffa manages to take Lukewarm and take the point back right before O3 Splash can manage to capture that first that first checkpoint there.
Yeah, a pretty decisive fight.
Yeah.
Especially with that really good use, but Deco gets booped off the map by Sobek? That's intriguing.
Was that off the map?
I heard Deco screaming, so I presume that was falling off the map.
Yeah, we're gonna see a boop kill come out from Sobek there. A bit of a, a nice little play that you want to see here. We're gonna see ultimates come out from both teams here, and who can use them best to manage to win this fight, as we see Boat immediately use that ultimate. Not gonna be able to get a whole lot of value when you die like that, Boat, but same what can go for Sobek, as like so Beck goes down, and the 0-3 Splash used this advantage to push onto Timeless, take down Scuffed, take down Wub. A Pulse Bomb comes out to take down Lukewarm, but it won't be enough as Cowman kills 3.
I mean, are we sure this is Overwatch? It feels like we're back in 2011 playing Team Fortress 2 with these long fights. But then at the same time, one ultimate is used, and it's as long as it's used, you know, in a decent way, like we saw from 0-3 Splash in that instance, it's very easily won. Both teams, very little ults on board. Cowman with theirs, Wub with theirs. We're going to see Timeless going up through the middle, Wub going early with his ult like we've seen many times before.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see Wub pull out the ult, looking for something, not quite being able to get it. Lukewarm cannot say the same, as Lukewarm gets a pick onto Sobek, and Boat gets a pick onto Wub to finish them off. And 0-3 Splash getting a clean fight win onto Timeless there as they capture this first checkpoint, and it is not looking good for Timeless.
Cowman has had some excellent uses of their ultimate, especially that one. Being able to hold and push their advantage as Timeless actually goes for a bit of a different comp now, going to put Doomed on the Genji, Kuffa onto the Winston.
I love some Genji gameplay myself, and I'm so excited to see Doomed on this as we see Timeless go for a bit more of a dive comp coming in here. Doomed looking for a pick, and Wub is going to be able to finish it off with a clean headshot onto Lukewarm as Wub gets another kill onto Cowman. And Doomed manages to finish off. So back there, 0-3 Splash is not looking good. Neutral going for the end pick onto Doomed, but Timeless is going to win that fight and take the push bot back for themselves.
Neither team used any ultimates that fight, so that just comes to show that 0-3 Splash was not ready for this composition switch from Timeless, and Timeless used that to play into them perfectly. 0-3 opting for a bit of an early push here. Not let Timeless get too much space with this dive comp. That forces Timeless to have to use cooldown. Just Lukewarm with the off angle. It takes down Scuff, but Sobek responds quickly with that beat.
Deco goes down, and so does Kuffa to Cowman. Both teams are so back and forth for this fight as ultimates come flying out. Wub gets low, and Cowman's going to be able to find another one as Boat's been pushing the bot to the checkpoint this whole time. Doomed goes down. Timeless is coming back from spawn, but it's not quite enough as 0-3 Splash managed to get more space on this push bot.
That's exactly what this is all about. Space. Cowman walks up almost into space.
Getting pounded in the front line there as Timeless is just unrelenting on that Annihilate form. Wub gets a pick onto Lukewarm. Exactly what they're looking for is Boat goes for a pick onto the back line. Isn't going to be able to get it out. Goes for the Pulse Bomb. Can't quite connect it, but Wub and Scuff go down for Boat and Cowman. This could be massive for 0-3 Splash, but of course Timeless isn't done yet as Doomed goes for a pick onto Deco and is going to be able to get it. Gets barely caught out by Boat, but not before killing Neutral as Kuffa goes for the primal rage to keep the rest of Timeless into this fight, pushing Cowman away from the getting away with that Nemesis form, and they're going to be able to capture this push bot and push it forward, hopefully getting it into their region now.
Finally, a good win for Timeless. It took a minute there, but now they need to keep that momentum up. Scuff going onto the Ana is a little interesting because of 0-3 Splash. 0-3 Splash's ability to dive, but Wub gets taken down. Kuffa responds onto Lukewarm. Ooh. That's going to be a really nice pick for Kuffa, actually in favor of Timeless overall. But the beat from Deco.
Oh, the beat from Deco is going to stop Doomed from getting away with anything as Cowman manages to take them down, and Kuffa on the Winston is just looking for anything here, but not being able to quite get it as Timeless can't quite seem to push it past this neutral point in the map after 0-3 Splash get these good spawns.
What's up?
This is getting into, I mean, it is going to be last fight for both of these teams. 0-3 Splash with this lead, meaning that if they win, they will win this map, taking us to a 5th map and final map, mind you.
A 5th final map. Yeah.
Does have a lot of ults. 0-3 Splash close on 2. Neutral going to be looking to use here as soon as they can, but Doom goes early as Lukewarm gets taken down by Kuffa.
Doomed looking for a pick onto the Tracer, but not going to be able to quite get it as Cowman pulls out the ult, and Sobek is going to get Ajax by the Cowman ult as Cowman kills 2, and Wump goes down, and it looks like this could be all over for Timeless as there just isn't enough sustain on the point. Kuffa goes down, Doomed goes down, and there's no one left on the side of Timeless, and Sobek comes back to touch the point, but can't quite... Does stay alive, does get the health back, can't quite touch again, and O3 Splash is once again gonna manage to take New Queen Street and bring us to a classic O3 Splash map 5.
Infected really pushing that nail deeper into the skin of Sobek, saying Ajax in the chat. That was so sad. What?
I don't think it was necessary from Infected. I think we can.
It
move
wasn't.
past
Hey.
it. I think we can.
The mental warfare. All right, the mental warfare.
I mean, it's so insane coming out for both of these teams. Timeless really putting up a fight on that push map, but like you said, I think O3 Splash put it Timeless exactly where they wanted to put Timeless, which is on their territory, on a map that they know that they have a 100% win rate on this season. And they want to bring Timeless back to a control map, which is exactly what's going to happen here for map 5, and I think O3 Splash is very comfortable with that. After all, control map was the first map that they won in this series.
Yeah, that is going to be like it. Unfortunately for Timeless, it's going to play very much so into O3 Splash's hand because they are more comfortable in these more chaotic game modes. I mean, we see push where these off angles can be taken with much more ease, and we're seeing Lukewarm pay off with that. We saw that on the first control map as well on Busan. We saw Lukewarm especially go for these wacky, weird off angles, but they're working, and he gets those early picks, which enables the rest of O3 Splash to engage. We saw a lot of different looks from both of these teams on control points, and going to this Koth map, O3 has won every single map 5.
Yeah, like I said before, I've watched every O3 game and I've seen them go to map 5 3 times now and win them all. And it's been an insane walk from every single one of them. And this is where O3 Splash is comfortable on, really. Throughout the summer series, they haven't had the best map differential out of all of the teams, but they are the only team that is still 4-0 for this series, and they're looking to make it 5-0 right now on map 3 with O3 Splash.
And
on map 5.
Like we said at the very beginning of the series, this is a really important game to possibly determine top seed, and that's going to be big going into playoffs. Being able to if I'm remembering correctly, to get a bye and to not even really have to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so important for both of these teams. Timeless and O3 Splash, both really good teams. O3 Splash making it so far in the spring series, and same with Timeless once again. And so, Timeless has had such a hard time with the picks or the teams that they've had to face thus far. Timeless has had a hard time, and this is I think the last big obstacle that Timeless is going to have to overcome. I think as far as the maps, as far as the seeding goes, O3 Splash is very up there, and after facing so many hard teams, that this is the one that Timeless has to beat. And very similar for O3 Splash, this is an important map for them. If they can beat Timeless here, that almost means that gives them a high chance of beating a lot of those top seeded teams that they haven't faced yet. And that's exactly what they're looking for.
Oh yeah, definitely. If O3 Splash win this, it proves that they most definitely have the ability to win against Strix, who was the one and only game that Timeless lost against.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being able to, going into this final map, going to these different compositions, I think we'll see on Lijiang, the classic map, if you will.
Yeah,
I think.
Go on.
Sorry, I think Naku, it would be a mistake for Midtown to go a Queen comp.
Yeah, I think. This is Timeless's pick, and maybe they've decided that maybe Joker Queen just hasn't worked this series, and they're gonna kind of try to stop and bow away from that. We're gonna see Cowman stay in for O3 Splash here, probably another Ramatra pick coming out. from him. And I imagine, maybe seeing Winston, maybe seeing Ramatra come out from Kuffa. I think we're here on see Kuffa ask for the Faramir in chat. I'm sure that's gonna work out. As we're gonna see both of these tank players. Seems maybe Cowman. Okay, seems that they're both gonna stay Ramatra here for this map. Exactly what we were expecting for both of these incredible Ramatra players.
And we'll see. Not essentially. We will see the mirror here. It's gonna be a fun one, Naku. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
seeing these play styles, these compositions, these teams clash on exactly the same level playing ground, as we are in a complete mirror. Even Wub going under the Sojourn, as they're both just wrapping around the center circle here.
Yeah, both of these teams fighting it out for dominance on this mirror. Word for word, bar for bar. Who is the better team on the exact same team comp on map 5 of this series? That's what they want to know. We're going to see Cowman come out and Lukewarm immediately get the pick onto Scuffed. Same with Kuffa, as O3 Splash is going to take the immediate advantage in this fight as Wub gets a counter pick on the Lukewarm, but will it be enough? So Beck barely managed to stay alive against that barrage of punches from Cowman, but it won't be enough to keep Doomed alive, or Deco as Wub gets a pick onto neutral.
Yeah. Doomed had some really good walls that fight, but Timeless just wasn't there to actually push on it, and they weren't able to take it early as the wall goes out early from Boat. Doesn't get much value, but the wall from Doomed comes behind, also doesn't get much value, as we're still just trading blow for blow. The lamp gets forced out early by Scuffed.
Ooh, Doomed gets caught in a really bad position as a wall comes out, and it's going to be the end for them, but neutral goes down just the same. This could be massive for Timeless, exactly what they're looking for. Kuffa goes into the Annihilation to take Lukewarm out, but so does O3 Splash as Scuffed and Wubbed go down. This is such a close fight already, as Cowman and Infected fight it out for dominance onto the point. So back goes, tries to keep Kuffa alive, but goes down just the same as O3 Splash managed to barely squeak out another fight win.
We're seeing exactly why Cowman stayed in, and exactly why O3 Splash have won every 5th map they've been in, because their aggression that they're showing, they're not afraid to push on someone in the backline, to split someone up from the rest, as Doomed was split at the beginning of that, which ended up winning them the fight. Lukewarm falls very low, but gets healed up by neutral.
Yeah, I mean, this is so close from both teams, and we're seeing Cowman once again show dominance on this Ramatra hero, which is exactly what they needed. Maybe something that, in fact, it couldn't quite pull out on his time as Ramatra, but Cowman absolutely can, and it's exactly what they're looking for to mirror this Ramatra comp out. And we're going to see ults come out from Timeless here as Cowman gets caught out by a lot, but both beats coming out from both of these teams is going to mean that Cowman barely goes down to Scuff at the end there, and we're going to see, I mean, just the chaos ensue in this control point as Boat gets barely caught out. Doomed is going to be able to take Boat down. Kuffa going for the back line to take neutral down. O3 splashes at 99%, but Timeless does manage to capture the point.
Looking like Fortnite with all these buildings being thrown up and around, but Timeless pull it out, and still with a lot of ultimates online. O3 Splash doing their best to keep up with that fight. Timeless did have a very good job of using Doom's walls. Doomed walls better that fight as they go again very early.
They're going so early here into O3 Splash, and it's not going to work out for them as Cowman uses the ult to take out Scuffed and Doomed. Lukewarm in the back line with an ult of his own means that Timeless is going to struggle to stay alive this fight as O3 Splash, Timeless just plays directly into O3 Splash's hand, and they're going to be able to capture the first point here on Lijiang Tower.
That was just so sad. Timeless thought they could run it with that tempo advantage, thought that they could go first, but it was a major miscalculation because once Doomed had messed up that wall and there was no value, backing up and being able just to take a re-engage altogether would have been much better, because then, like you said, Naku, they just played straight into O3 Splash's hand and they just dumped ultimates in it, and Timeless could do nothing about it.
Yeah, I felt like that's exactly what O3 Splash wanted Timeless to do. Whether they actually did want Timeless to do that or not, obviously we can't say, but oh my god. just the way that they played that, they split up so they could kind of flank Timeless there as they pushed into a Cowman ult, and they just couldn't stay alive for that last fight. We're going to see the same cops come out. They're all still almost willing to mirror as Wob decides to swap off of that soldier and into his more comfortable Hanzo pick. This could be the difference, or it could not be, but Timeless is sure hoping it is as this fight starts up.
We're seeing these teams fight back and forth for every inch of space they can get.
What a wall.
Yeah, wall completely shuts down Cowman. And the Nemesis does get used early from both teams. Kuffa's going to have it back soon, but Kuffa falls very low. Gets healed finally.
Yeah, Kuffa falling incredibly low and actually going down to Cowman. The Nemesis isn't quite enough to keep him alive as Timeless looks a little lost. So back in the backline, being able to get the pick onto Lukewarm, but it's not quite enough as O3 Splash capture this point.
It's looking like Cowman is doing a lot better job than Kuffa at actually controlling the space that they have. Kuffa trying to advance their position a lot and very quickly, whereas sometimes it might be okay to just sit back and relax, force out those cooldowns, and then go.
I mean, look at the ult charge difference from these tanks. Cowman almost doubling Kuffa's ult charge percentage here coming into this fight is not looking good for Timeless, as Cowman is going to come into this with an Annihilation ready. We're going to see May ult come out onto the side of O3 Splash. Timeless is getting low, is going down from it as 3 of Timeless's players go down. Kuffa looking to bring them back into the fight with a pick onto neutral, but it won't be enough as Cowman uses the Annihilation to finish off Timeless.
It's a good pick that forces O3 Splash to have to back up and to have to play White Room instead of playing up close and keeping them stuffed there. But Timeless, they're gonna have to get value out of their ults here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not looking good for Timeless here. They are looking to win this fight. They have the ultimates to do it. They just need to utilize them correctly. As Doomed already has to go to that Ice Black as he's getting so low here. And Kuffa looking to get this pick onto boat, but is just going to keep pushing into that backline, finally being able to get it, but goes down just the same. Although O3 Splash is down too, and they can't, as Timeless captures this point. Both of these teams willing to use any ultimates necessary to win this fight, and it looks like O3 Splash might be able to get it out as Wump goes down, and so does Sobek. Doomed manages to get the Ice Block off, but it won't be enough to keep him alive as O3 Splash managed to recapture this point and take Timeless back to their spawn.
We saw Sobek with the second environmental kill of the series, booping Lukewarm off early. But it didn't matter because Kuffa fell soon after, not getting the beat from Sobek, as I believe it got walled off. But either way, that was an awful fight for Timeless. They got some capture point, sure, but now they're left with barely any ult. I mean, they only have Wubs, which he's going to use early.
Yeah, Wub going to use that ult really early, almost gets caught, catches boat out, but not quite, as we see Lukewarm try to use this railgun to get a pick. Not going to be able to quite get it out. Cowman has the Annihilation to work with. Is going to go in with it. Cowman getting low, but staying alive. The Immort comes out. Lukewarm manages to get a pick onto Dude with that ult, but Cowman goes down by Scuffed. Lukewarm's getting low. Lukewarm's getting called out, but barely manages to stay alive. Cowman's dead. Boat is dead from a clean headshot from Wub, and it looks like Timeless is in the position that they want to be in, but O3 Splash isn't done fighting. Scuffed goes down from a Deco headshot. Both of these Lucios fighting for dominance, and Wub is going to come in to show that maybe he is the dominant one. Deco goes down. Kuffa doesn't manage to stay alive throughout this fight as Lukewarm gets the pick, and O3 Splash is looking to recontest. Cowman is back, but so is Timeless. The wall comes out. They have point control. They're looking to maintain it. They're waiting for Kuffa to get back, but will he come back in time? Cowman is forced to use that Nemesis form early, and Cowman's going to have that, or Kuffa's going to have that when he comes back, as well as an Annihilate coming in soon. Doomed using the ultimate to try to kind of keep Cowman down. Wub gets caught out by a Lukewarm railgun. Doomed comes out with an ultimate. Both of these Mays are fighting for dominance as Lukewarm takes out Doomed, takes out Kuffa, takes out Sobek, Neutral takes out Scuffed, and it looks like O3 Splash are going to be able to win it all!
Wow. Naku spitting bars to finish off the map. O3 Splash punishing Timeless for their lack of cohesion and how split up they were. O3 Splash should not have won that final fight. They were down by 3. Down by 3. And O3 Splash managed to stay alive enough to come back and win the fight.
I mean, once again, O3 Splash are map 5 warlords coming in on this control center. A 4 for 4 map 5 wins, 5-0 for O3 Splash, putting Timeless in the 3-2 position, not where they wanted to be. And this is such a big win for O3 Splash. They go into this, this is a big win for O3. I mean, Timeless is not a team that you're messing around with. I mean, O3 Splash has had, maybe a little bit of the easier run between these two teams here. Facing off against teams like, Rift, Worldwide, Afterlife, Amplify, teams that you don't really associate with being in that, like, top 4, top, 2 spot, like Timeless. And O3 Splash proved that even against a team as dominant and proficient as Timeless, they can still win that map 5 and still go 5-0.
Yeah, their win over Timeless really shows they're dominant in all of Summer Contenders. And unfortunately, no interview for us. But I mean, what a series, honestly.
Yeah, an insane series coming out from both of these to start off the week. A map 5 once again from O3 Splash. Once again, another win from O3 Splash is exactly what this team wants to see. Unfortunately, Timeless is put in a pretty rough position at the end, but what a beautiful series to watch. What a pleasure to get to cast it. It's just an incredible match altogether.
An incredible opportunity, not only the Timeless Broadcasting Project as a whole, but being able to cast alongside you, Naku. But we're not done. We're not done yet.
Yeah,
we still have another one.
We still have to go on and watch Pip versus Timeless later tonight, coming right up for you.
Yep, the Pirates in Pajamas versus the Timeless game. Here again in a little bit is going to be a really, really fun one. So make sure you stick around for that. Also, all the other streams, very, very fun matches. Good Boys. I don't know why I'm blanking on that name. I apologize.
Good Boys versus, I want to say,
Good Boys won.
Afterlife. Good Boys versus Afterlife was the name I was looking for. I knew it was an A, but I didn't want to accidentally say Amplify, which was the issue. But yeah, Good Boys versus Afterlife. Good Boy managed to take that series. So good on them. Another shout out to Timeless Broadcast Project for putting this all together. The whole broadcast project, the whole production team has been so incredible, so last minute to put this entire thing together, surrounded by incredible production, surrounded by incredible graphics from all of these teams who have been opted in to be a part of this massive and amazing project, giving people the opportunity to show that they have what it takes to do incredible things within the scene, and giving more matches to you guys, the fans, to the people that want to see the matches, to the people that want to tune into everything. It has provided incredible coverage for everybody. Twitters have been popping off, streams have been popping off. These amazing contenders matches that absolutely deserve to be seen are being seen.
Exactly. I mean, just think, if it wasn't for Timeless Broadcasting Project, this game wouldn't have been seen. This was an insane game.
Imagine a world where you did not get to see every single one of O3's map 5 or O3 Splash's map 5s. That is a world that I don't want to live in, and I'm happy that I don't have to anymore as we get to watch all of them. And even over on the O3 Splash stream, where I believe Plato and who was it, Matt Merck and Plato got to cast it on their side. I'm sure they had a phenomenal time over there watching such a beautiful map.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just an insanely fun time. Thank you again, Naku, for sticking around through all that long series. It was a ton of fun. We're gonna have to throw it to a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys soon.